Welcome Aries to your weekly reading. This is for the 4th to the 11th of August. We are going to go ahead and see all the possible energies and messages coming through for you for this week. Aries, I'm starting off by looking at the possible energy beginning the week. We will then go ahead and look at your possible challenges, if any. Thirdly, we will look at messages and advice from Spirit. We will then look at your unexpected blessing coming through this week. And finally, the possible outcome of the week. Aries, this is a collective reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Aries, I'm going to start off over here with Queen of Wands and the Ace of Cups, and we're looking at the possible energy beginning the week. And I love to see you coming through here, Aries, as Queen of Wands. It doesn't matter if you're masculine or feminine, it's the energy of Queen of Wands I'm speaking about. And I see you, Aries, at the beginning of this week, being very inspired and motivated. You're full of energy, you're full of vitality. I feel there's a lot going on in your life with Ace of Cups coming through and a lot of good things, Aries. It might be beginning energies, but you can feel the possibility of a lot of abundance, prosperity, and happiness coming your way. And it's as though you're not going to wait for anybody or anything. You're going to seize all these good things coming your way, and you're going to work on them and ensure that you give it everything you've got so that things can now just get better, better, and better. Aries, it's a strong energy I'm seeing here. It's very positive, and I see you out and about, really doing whatever it takes to make this happen for yourself. Let's move on and see what Page of Pentacles and the Star is all about, and we're looking at your possible challenges. Now, Aries, this Ace of Cups was the first clue for us that you are in fact entering into a very lucky and auspicious week. A week, my dear Aries, where you're going to feel things are going your way. Things are going smoothly. You don't feel as though you're fighting upstream. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past. This week, things look good. Things feel good. Whereas perhaps previously you really had to fight for everything. People weren't so forthcoming. This week, Aries, I feel there's a wonderful flow to everything. This Ace of Cups that's coming in, Hand of God giving you the cup of abundance. I see you already accepting it, as I saw over here. You're not hesitating. It's as though you recognize your blessings and you're not going to let any blessing slip away, because I do feel there's more than one blessing coming through, and we saw that over here with the 5 streams. So I feel, Aries, you're going to actually be working on more than one thing this week. So for many of you, perhaps you've got a new project at work, or perhaps you've got a new idea that you want to initiate in your business. You could at the same time be looking for a new home or looking to buy a new car or laptop. There's a lot of other energies around you, and it's all this beginning excited energy. As you see, there are many little saplings growing in your fields now. So these are all these ideas you have. You are now already starting to plant the seeds. That little rabbit there leaping across the fields is another sign for us that you are going to be very lucky, Aries, over this time. So this is a perfect week, my dear Aries, to ask people for what you need. Ask for that favor. Ask for that advice. Ask for that introduction. Don't hold back in any way, because with this energy we are seeing here, I think your little saplings, as long as they are nurtured and given time and attention, things are going to go really well in those areas. Let's move on and see what 8 of Cups and Knight of Swords is for you. That is sitting in messages and advice from Spirit. Now, Aries, Spirit has very interesting advice for you. They want you to know that there comes a time in everybody's life where there are natural endings, where you just have to move onward and upward. It could be leaving something you have simply outgrown, or just leaving something in order to improve yourself somewhere. I don't see any other reason that could be toxic or negative. This is Spirit just coming in saying, Aries, this is an expansive week, and I want you to tap into that expansive energy. And you know, my dear Aries, when we hold ourselves back because we feel comfortable in our job, we feel comfortable with our lifelong friends, even if they're not perfect, and we actually have different opinions, and we actually live completely different lives, but you just don't have the energy to get out there and make new friends, Spirit is saying this is where you could hold yourself back. They want you now to recognize what these blessings are and move on it. Don't hesitate. These are blessings. It's coming from the hand of God. Spirit wants to see you move onward and upward so that you can now experience new things. When we bring new people into our lives, Aries, when we bring new experiences into our lives, this is when we learn, we grow, and we expand. So Spirit is saying, don't hold yourself back just because it feels comfortable. Sometimes comfortable can be quite stifling. Move when you see the opportunity and you will not look back. Let's move on and see what your unexpected blessing is this week. And we have 4 of Pentacles and 7 of Swords. So, my dear Aries, your unexpected blessing is that you are actually not going to hold yourself back in any way. I do believe many of you will take some time this week to look at where you might have been holding yourself back, staying in that romantic relationship that you know is on the fast track to nowhere, staying at that dead-end job just because it's convenient and comfortable. You know, my dear Aries, where you're holding yourself back, and you're going to do something about it to get out of it. But what I love to see here is 7 of Swords, because you're not going to be rash and spontaneous. You're going to be very strategic. You're going to think everything through. You're going to plan it. You're going to organize it. You're not holding this back, but you're going to work with this energy to ensure that you're safe and secure, and you make the right decisions and take the right action, so you place yourself in this blessed energy. So your unexpected blessing is you, my dear Aries, and you moving smartly into your future. Right, let's move on and see what the possible outcome of the week is. And we have 9 of Swords and the Knight of Cups. Now, Aries, this 9 of Swords is very interesting. And I do feel it's all connected to where you might have been holding yourself back in some way. I think it's been niggling at you. You've been very aware of it. As I mentioned previously, you know, Aries, we know what we know. And even if we don't take action, and even if we don't make any decisions, we know when it's time to move on. We know when it's time to start that new job, to open that new business, to move into that new apartment, to look for new like-minded friends. We know. And I think if this is relevant to you, it might have been worrying you quite a bit. But this is now going to dissipate for you, because as Knight of Cups comes in, there's that cup that we saw right in the beginning. This is the cup being offered to you. So we know now that this cup that is coming through from the hand of God is going to come through very differently for everybody. It could be, my dear Pisces, that somebody gives you the introduction to a really wonderful person and you start that new romantic relationship. This could be your existing romantic partner who comes in and says, come on now, Aries, we've been dating for 3 years now. We've got to take the relationship to the next level. It's the natural course of action. And so you either get engaged or move in together or whatever it is. This could be, my dear Aries, that you put your resume and CV out there and you get that call to come in for an interview. As you can see, this is going to be very personal to you. But what I love to see is that this cup comes in, which tells us that you're taking it seriously. You're not going to let it slip through your fingers, and you're going to acknowledge whatever this wonderful, exciting energy is for you. So that is all I have for you right now. I hope you enjoyed your reading. I wish you the most wonderful week, and I am sending you all so much love.